Howdy.
Hello.
What is going on?
I am just bouncing from Zoom to Zoom today.
Good?
Oh, we just finished the icon maker call and two sales calls.
Uh-huh. Good. All right, we'll let some folks in.
How are you?
Okie dokie. Alrighty. There we go. 2:00 on the dot. Are we recording? Hold on. We'll
We
record.
I opened the room, it automatically did it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Sorry.
I don't even have to remember to hit record. You done did it. Alrighty. What is going on, everybody? Feel free to bring up your cameras if you like. If you don't like, no worries. What is going on, Leah? How are you? Steve, what's up? See
Doing
ya.
great. Doing great.
Awesome. Awesome. Good. I'm excited to dive into lesson number 3 here. And a lot of ground to cover. If you guys are watching the recording, then hello. Good to see you on the recording. All right.
Steve Bolt's looking forward to meeting you in person in the Web3 world.
Looking forward to it. Uh-oh. Hold that thought. I'll be right back.
Got some more coming in. You guys can bring up your cameras. Say hello. Hello. Such a quiet group when we first get started here. Some more jumping in. Come on, somebody open up that camera. He's back.
Uh-huh.
It's like, come talk to me.
Uh-huh. I locked my dog out.
Which one?
Ananda.
Oh.
I thought she was already inside, and she was not.
Poor
all right, cool. So good to see everybody, and welcome. We're going to get rocking and rolling here. So we're going to jump into presentation number 3 of our workshop here, as we dive into the world of Web3, and this is it's going to be fun. Now we're going to be talking about designing your own Web3 economy. So lots to cover here today, and we're actually not going to do a session 4. I'm going to leave time here. I think we'll be fine on this. So I'll leave some time throughout to answer any questions. It seems like you guys have been asking your questions throughout. So we'll just do that and keep firing them away. Any questions that you have, either about the first 2 presentations or obviously about today's as we go through things. Just fire them away, and I will get to as many of those answers as I possibly can. Again, no reason to believe that this is financial advice around the world of Web3. This is, just based on my experience and what I've been able to garner over the last year or so. I'm not a licensed this or a certified that. So please don't take what I'm just putting forth here as financial advice. Everyone needs to do their own research. Please do your own research. Okay. All right, sweet. So let's keep rocking and rolling here. So let's talk about designing an economy. And go ahead and take down your camera, Steve. Yeah, no reason to have it up for right now. But let's jump in. So let's talk about designing an economy. And as I said over the last couple of sessions here, I'm really all about how do we get into things as quickly and easily, time efficient, cost effective as possible, right? And so there's a lot of different options in the world of Web3. But as a coach, author, speaker, business owner, podcaster, etc., I'm just of the belief in this particular moment in time that there's 3 ways to really get into this game. Again, based on that criteria, as quickly as humanly possible. And so lots of different options. But if I'm a voting person and you're thinking about, hey, I wanna get started in this world, I'm going to suggest that you get started with one of these three options, either through having your own social token or creator coin, if you will, potentially having a DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, and then lastly, through perhaps launching an NFT project. And those to me are your three primary options as it says today. Other options, definitely. Better options than these three at this moment? Perhaps, but these are certainly the easiest ways to get started here in this world. So I want to break these down for you a little bit further. I know we covered a lot of ground in yesterday's presentation, but I want to see if I can break these down even a bit further for you. So when we're talking about social tokens, we're talking about creator coins. There's lots of reasons to get into this world. One of the things that I really want you to start thinking about is that, not only are you building social capital through the content that you're releasing, the community that you built, and so on, your credibility, authority, etc. What if you could actually begin to monetize that social capital, right? And begin putting a real dollar assigned value, if you will, towards the social capital that you're creating. And that's where a creator coin really does come in, as it gives you the opportunity to add real world financial value to the social capital that you're already creating, adding that financial value for your organization and adding that financial value for your community as well. And let me ask you guys a question. Just fire away in the chat. How many of you guys are thinking about, just give me a yes in the box, if you're thinking about building up your company and selling it at some point? Just give me a yes in the box if that is even on the radar for you. Just curious. Let me pop out the chat box so I can see it. So Steve is the only one. Okay, a couple others. Okay, good. And so, look, the reality is when you have a creator coin, a social token, you have something that literally can show up on your balance sheet, something that literally can add value to the discussion if you ever get to the point of looking to sell that business, right? So there's a lot of different sort of financial elements, if you will, financial value elements, if you will, to having your own social token, for sure. The second thing is that you can use your social token, you can use your creator coin to have your community complete specific tasks, right? And so what do I mean with this? Like, you can use your creator coin to have your community complete a survey. So you can reward your community if they fill out a survey with actual valuable social tokens, right? A creator coin. You can have them join you for an in-person get-together. You can have them enroll in a product, program, or service, right? Any of those things that you ask them to complete a task on, listen to your podcast, read your blog, comment on your video, whatever it is, leave you a 5-star review, doesn't matter. You can use the creator coin, right, to incentivize and compensate your community. Now, this can just simply be a gift from you. It could be a match. You could say, hey, if you leave a review and then you buy one of my coins, I'll give you 5 coins in return, right? I don't know, whatever it is that you would want to do there, but you get my point. It gives you real world currency that can add value for people to complete specific tasks. I also think there's something to be said for elevating your status in terms of, again, like we talked about yesterday, when Wiley says, hey, we'll publish What Is Your What? Discover the one amazing thing you were born to do. It's a lot different than just simply publishing your own book, right? There's something about having your own social currency or social token, if you will, that really does help to elevate your status. It certainly differentiates you from others who are in your respective field. And so that's really what a lot of this is about, right? Is helping to differentiate ourselves from others in our space. So having your own creator coin can absolutely help to elevate your status. It can again, give you the opportunity to return real value to your community by helping to support what it is that they create. Now, by doing so, they can be rewarded both through the value of that creator coin increasing in value, as well as if you decide to go with Rally, through Rally's reward system. So you can actually give real world value to your community with your coin. And then if you opt to do so at some point, you could potentially put this coin out as a full blown listing, right? I mean, you could get onto the exchanges, not necessarily through Rally and that exchange, but you could take some of the momentum that you've built through your coin and then move it over into more of a mainstream type of token. It's certainly something you could do. As I said, it's tradable. You can trade it for other creator coins. You could trade it for anything. It has real world value as a currency. So if someone has something that you want, heck, you could buy a car with it. It has that sort of real world value. So just understand that your creator coin is not limited to the specific platform on which that creator coin exists. And it has real world value. So this is one of the things that gets us most excited about our coin. And we're just really just beginning to scratch the surface in terms of what we're doing here and what's possible with it. And the more that we dig in, the more exciting it gets. Just because it gives us the opportunity to be that much more creative. And the more creative that we are, it seems like at the end of the day, the more that it gets not only, of course, to be fun for us, but also that it resonates with the people in our community as well. So lots of different reasons to have your own creator coin for sure. And again, whether you choose to do it on Rally or on a different platform, boy, really the sky's the limit here. And what I know to be true about Rally, and Whitney brought this up, I think, yesterday or the day before, is that, it does it help if you have 1 million followers or this, that, and the other? Sure. For their approval process, those things aren't going to hurt. But if you have a particular niche that you're serving, that's really of interest to them as they continue to expand their line of creator coin offerings as well. So someone had asked the question in another group that I led earlier today. Someone had asked the question of, how big or small do you need to be in order, for this to be a realistic opportunity? And at the end of the day, it really is not about the size of the community. It's more about your commitment to your community. And are you fully committed and fully vested in their success? And if so, what is that community that you're serving, right? That's ultimately the question. What is that community? And if it is different from what others are doing, I know that Rally takes a legitimate interest in this. And just to be clear, there are other platforms as well, right? So there are other platforms where you can get into the world of creator coins. Okay. Let me just do this real quick. I want to just do a quick stop here for a second. Obviously, we're really bullish on creator coins, social tokens, etc. Do you have any other questions? I want to make sure. Were there any other questions and bring up your cameras. I'd love to see your faces. So bring up your cameras. From the first two sessions, or as it relates to creator coins specifically, any questions at all that remain outstanding before I jump into this world of DAOs, of the decentralized autonomous organizations? You can either type it into the chat box if you don't want to come on camera, no worries. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, what questions did you have, Leah?
So how much do you want the currency to be in flow? And the reason I ask that question is because, you're getting rewarded for people holding it at some point with Rally, I noticed. Even as somebody who owns it, I get rewarded for holding with Rally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering, how much do you want people to be buying and holding versus actually having it kind of flow in more of a currency type way?
Yeah. So it's interesting. The value of the coin is going to increase when more people hold the coin. And the value of that coin is going to increase when there are more people buying the coin than selling the coin. So the flow that you really want in an ideal world is you want people buying the coin and holding the coin. And you want the people who own the coin to buy more coin, and you want new people to come into the ecosystem and buy the coin. So at the end of the day, it's pure economics. You know, it's demand, right? I mean, it's supply and demand. So the more people that are letting go of their supply, the lower the price will be of the coin. The more people that are holding on to their supply, the higher the price will be. And ultimately, that benefits the community as a whole. So part of the strategy that you really want to start thinking about, is how do you incentivize the community to hold on to their coin? And some people are going to sell. There's nothing you can do about that. They may need the cash, or they may want to trade into something else. I mean, whatever. I mean, it is going to be what it's going to be. But that is part of the strategy that you have to really gain clarity on, and part of the utility. And we're going to get into that here in a bit. But it's definitely the coin is going to be of most value to you as the creator, and to your community when people are buying and holding, as opposed to continually coming in and out of the coin.
Okay. Yeah. And that the follow up to that would be, with social media, you need to be posting so many times a day on this platform, or, this type of content on this platform. Is there kind of a general sense that, like, okay, every week there needs to be a campaign to be getting new buyers in order for the coin to maintain its value? Or is it not that much of an algorithm yet?
Well, I mean, here's the easiest way to answer that question, which is, if every single day you can have people buying your coin and bringing new people into your ecosystem, that's going to benefit all that are involved, right? Do you have to do that? No. But if new people aren't coming into the ecosystem and it is remaining sort of stagnant, so to speak, then you don't benefit from rally rewards either, because the rally rewards system is set up so that based on the prior 4 weeks, if more people own your coin today than they did 4 weeks ago, you're eligible for the rally rewards. And so otherwise, if less people own your coin now than they did 4 weeks ago, then that week, you're not eligible for the rally rewards. At least that is my understanding of how the system works.
So if I'm hearing that correctly, you'd need at minimum some sort of fresh campaign you'd be doing monthly, but ideally weekly you would be.
Yeah, and there are some people who are on it daily. I mean, some people look at this as an actual part of their business model, and they use it to generate real revenue. I mean, there are some folks doing really, really well with their coins, and they've abandoned everything else, and all they're doing is working towards rally rewards. Because if they can get, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 in rally rewards every week, that adds up to real money. And the interesting thing about the rally rewards is that when you have Rally's coin and then you bridge out of that coin into Ethereum or whatever, the sale of their token doesn't impact the price of yours, because you're simply selling their reward tokens, if you will, that you've been given. And that doesn't impact your coin, because you're not selling your coin to end up with that, with that money, so to speak. And I know Whitney's got input on that as well. Any other questions as it relates to the last couple of days or creator coins before we jump over to DAOs?
Yes, I do.
Please.
So then you want basically one coin. And then if you have different income streams and stuff, everything you want under that coin, right? So it'll be the strongest and it'll sell.
I'm not sure I
Like
answers. Phrase
you
it as a
wouldn't want
question.
you wouldn't want 3 different coins. You'd
Well, you
really
can't
want,
have. Yeah, I mean, you could own other people's coins. That's a different story. Like I can own Whitney's
oh,
coins,
yeah.
and it wouldn't affect our coin. You know, we can if any of you own, you know, start your creator coins, we could own your coins, and that won't impact the price of ours. Um, but I mean, you're only going to have one creator coin for your company.
Okay. That's all.
Yeah. You know, and the other thing is when we start talking about collaboration, we talk about co-creation, we talk about, you know, just really this whole Web3 mentality. You know, for those of you who are thinking like, well, I can't really do this on my own. I don't have the following, you know, maybe it's just, you know, I'm not in the right position yet. Well, if you take a more collaborative approach and you think about it in terms of, well, who are other people in my niche that I could potentially partner with to put this coin together, right? And bring this coin to fruition for my, you know, for my niche. That might be a really good way to think about it also, right? Is who can
Right.
I partner with and do things in more of a collaborative type of nature? And that's the beauty. I mean, that, you know, and that's really sort of the underlying principles of Web3 is collaboration.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. All right, then let's keep rocking and rolling. Debbie says, "What if my parent company has other companies within it? Does my parent company have the coin or each of the other companies?" I mean, we'd have to sit down and look at what that actual structure looks like and help you get to that answer. So at the end of the day, the coin can be tied to one particular company. Yeah, that's kind of where more strategy comes in, and we'd have to make sure that it's set up the right way out of the gate. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'd love to obviously be able to talk with you about that and just make sure it's set up the right way. But I mean, you can pretty much set it up however you deem appropriate based on what it is that you're doing. So we can explore that. All right, let's talk about DAOs. So let's jump into a conversation around DAOs. So what is a DAO? Great question. it is a decentralized autonomous organization. That's what it stands for. Leigh and Whitney, you guys can take down your cameras if you want, or you can stay on and, you know, hang out, whatever you want to do. So, man, it's just like this. It's a whole new world, and people are really just trying to, you know, figure this whole thing out, right? I mean, it's just so cool to see how quickly these new structures known as DAOs have come onto the scene. Um, Let me just give you a definition that I like because there's a lot of different definitions floating around um, for what a DAO is. But you know, here's basically what a DAO does. And so a DAO enables online communities to form, to pool resources, and to coordinate towards common goals, all run trustlessly via code. And this is one of the partners, Ali, from A16Z, who's more specifically their crypto general partner. And so, okay, maybe that makes sense, maybe that doesn't. Let me help you through it a little bit more in terms of what a DAO really is. So a DAO is an entity. If you think about things in terms of projects, like you can have an NFT project, you can have a Creator Coin project, you can have a DAO project. So a DAO is a Web3 project. In its simplest definition, I'll try to step us through it here and get to, you know, any questions that you have. A DAO really gives people the opportunity to shift, right? The participants shift from merely contributing to a platform or a project. So like unlike GoFundMe, where you just simply contribute monetarily to a particular endeavor, this now gives the people who contribute the opportunity to have a vested interest in its success. So now I'm not just giving money to some sort of initiative. I'm actually I'm actually contributing to this initiative and being a part of this initiative. And when the initiative succeeds, I have a vested interest in its success. So as a participant, it allows me to really co-create and co-manage and co-design this project. And so ultimately, it encouraged participants, right? Again, we support what it is that we help to create. And so through a DAO as a participant, we're more prone and more likely to then market this DAO and get the word out about this and refer others to join this movement. And much as with a creator coin, a DAO certainly can position the creator in a favorable light, because now you have people who are aligned around a specific mission, lining up to say, hey, this is something that I want to contribute to and support. And in turn, what it really says is I'm in favor of the person or people who have created this decentralized autonomous organization. And there's definitely credibility and authority and status, elevated status, that goes hand in hand with creating that DAO. And so when you think about it in terms of the Web3 way and having a DAO, it truly is about involvement. It's about saying, hey, to your community or to the world, I have something that I am passionate about. And if you're passionate about this too, get involved. And you can contribute to this cause, to this project, either through your time or through resources, maybe things that you do or people that you have access to, or of course through monetary donations as well. But the real kicker here is with a DAO. Now it is set up so that the contributors to that project share financial success with the creator. So it gives the people who are involved with this project, your community as an example, the opportunity to share in the financial success of this project. Now, I want to make this as clear as I possibly can. You can create a DAO as a separate piece of what it is that you are doing. In other words, you don't have to tie your company up, so to speak, in other words, the DAO can be a separate piece, separate project, separate component completely from what you're doing through your primary business. So when you set up a DAO, it doesn't mean that you're giving people who participate in the DAO ownership of your existing business. Just give me a yes in the box if that makes sense. Just give me a yes in the box if that's clear. Okay. So you can set this up as a completely distinct entity altogether. And if it flops, doesn't impact your business. If it succeeds, great. Still doesn't impact your business directly. Okay. So good. I just want to make sure that's clear. So let me give you an example of a couple different DAOs. So many of you, of course, are familiar with Uber and Lyft as an example. So Uber, Lyft, really when you come right down to it, these companies are owned by Wall Street, right? I mean, they're publicly traded entities. The profits go back to the shareholders. That means the profits go back to Wall Street. And ultimately, at the end of the day, those people are the 1/10 of the 1%. It's the rich get richer. And so when you look at Uber and Lyft, for the drivers, it's not great. Their account can be deactivated without due process. They don't get paid all that well. The platform takes quite a bit of chunk of change. The corporation itself is making money hand over fist. And people, like I said, the drivers don't get paid really well. So there is a new DAO that was formed in New York. That is the rideshare DAO. It's co-op is what it's known as. And so co-op it's a DAO. It's set up where it's actually owned by the drivers. And so it's a democratic process where the drivers actually are actively involved and they get to vote on, things that go on, new initiatives, etc. And because there is no additional level of bureaucracy in Wall Street and so on, they're able to pay much more to the drivers for that same drive or that same ride than Uber and Lyft can. And because it's co-owned and it's cooperative, so to speak, structured as a DAO, there's more respect for those who are driving. And the beautiful thing about it is at the end of the year, when there are profits, those profits are shared with the drivers. So let me say that there's really very little that you can't do with the DAO. So there's no one size fits all. You can almost get as creative as you want in terms of what a DAO can be. So in this case, we've got, a rideshare DAO. There was something called Pleaser DAO. Pleaser DAO was a very interesting DAO that came together. Somebody had an idea and said, hey, let's buy this very rare Wu-Tang Clan album. Wu-Tang Clan is a hip-hop group. They had one vinyl pressed release of a particular album a number of years ago. And that album was coming up for auction. So somebody said, hey, let's put together a DAO that will fund the acquisition of this Wu-Tang Clan album. Okay, that's kind of cool. And they did. And they ended up raising $4 million or whatever it is. And they ended up acquiring that Wu-Tang Clan album. They were the highest bidder. And so now the DAO owns this Wu-Tang Clan album, and all of the owners of the DAO own in fractional pieces the album itself. So they contributed, and now they are owners, and they will co-benefit from owning that album. Okay, pretty interesting, pretty cool. And then this is something that you guys might have heard about, which was the Constitution DAO. And somebody had the idea of, let's put together a DAO and let's acquire a rare copy of the Constitution that's going up for auction. Okay, why not? So let's just float the idea and let's see what happens. Well, they knew they were going to have to raise quite a bit of money. They structured it as a DAO so that the contributors would be co-owners of the Constitution if they were to acquire it. If you know the answer, don't type it in the box. But if you'd like to take a guess at the answer because you don't know the answer, how much money do you think that they raised through a DAO in less than a week to acquire this rare copy of the Constitution? So if you don't know the answer, put a number in the box in terms of how many dollars you think they raised in under a week to try and acquire a rare copy of the Constitution. So over 100 million, 4 million, a billion, 20 million. Okay, yeah, all good guesses. 47, Leia's pretty much on it. It was 43 million that they ended up raising in less than a week. Just somebody posted something on Twitter, and it just grew and blew up like wildfire. And so this is part of what I want you to understand in the world of Web3 is, I don't have a big following. I don't have a big audience. I can't do this. It's not right for me. The people who wanted to acquire a copy of the Constitution had zero following when they started because the Constitution DAO didn't exist. It was just an idea that people were like, that's interesting. And the word spread like wildfire. Within a week, they raised 43 million. Now they ended up falling short, and they didn't acquire the rare copy of the Constitution. But still pretty cool that through a DAO, they were able to raise over $43 million. Now, in their case, that treasury of 43 odd million, they wanted to distribute it back to the people who donated. And the people were like, no, let's find something else to do. And so what they ended up doing, Leia, is they started a token with it called People. So the People's Token is actually what they ended up creating with the funds from that DAO. So it's not disbanded completely. It just morphed into an actual token called the People's Token. But yeah, I mean, just pretty cool to go from zero to raising $43 million in a week. just showing you the power of the DAO, right? I mean, just let me stop there for a second. Hold on. Bring up your cameras. And there's obviously a lot that we can cover here, and I don't want to go, crazy deep down the rabbit hole per se. Questions about DAOs. What questions do you guys have? Anything? Yeah, Leah, Barbara? Yeah, start with Leah, and then we'll go over to Barbara.
So with a DAO, do you actually have to also register it as a legal business individually, like an LLC or a corporation or something like that? Or does a DAO actually serve as its own entity in the eyes of the powers that be?
Yeah, you do have to actually structure it as an entity.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, most people are doing it in Wyoming, structuring Wyoming-based DAO type structures, if you will. But yeah, I mean, you raised $43 million. You've got to have an entity tied to that, for sure. Barbara, what was your question?
Okay, I just wondered if there was a platform that would help you get through setting up a DAO.
There are developing platforms, but there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle right now. So that's it's part of what we can help you with, right? So if you're thinking about structuring a DAO, I mean, we can help you put the pieces of the puzzle together, get the strategy, and get all that in order. And so, yeah, I mean, that's part of what I've been dancing with, now in this world, is connecting with folks on all different sides of the spectrum. And Kelly's been working on our NFT project, and then obviously with the Creator Coin. So that's why when I say, there's three main areas where we can really help you guys. The NFTs, the DAOs, and the Creator Coins are those three areas. Everything else is stuff we know about, but it's not in our sweet spot, not really in our area, of great expertise. Yeah. Any other questions about DAOs? Yeah, please, Tony.
Steve, when it comes to, I'm following up from Leah, Leah's question, when it comes to regulation, this entity that you were speaking about just now, does that fall under some sort of financial regulatory framework?
I mean,
depending on which country you set this DAO up in?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously you're gonna want to make sure that it's set up properly based on where you are in the world. So our expertise lies in the United States, and there's one particular guy who I know that does this specifically, and so the stuff that he does is here in the States. But I'm sure that if I asked him if you're looking at doing something elsewhere, I'm sure he's got some resources. I can reach out to him and just find out.
I read an article yesterday that someone has set up a DAO somewhere in Europe and has raised over 50 million for funds for the legal funding for Julian Assange of WikiLeaks.
Oh yeah. No, that is a DAO specifically to get to free him. Yeah.
So I was just wondering whether the government, if can get their hands on that money, one way or another.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole I don't even dare to go down. But I mean, because you're talking about a very specific person with a very specific background with a very specific set of circumstances. So that is an enemy of the state. So
no, I wasn't. I was just using him as an example. I was just thinking that if you set up a DAO anywhere, what kind of government control would there be over the funds that you accumulate or manage?
Yeah,
and who would know how to keep on the right side of that kind of regulation?
Yeah, and again, it really just depends on what it is that you're doing. But at the end of the day, if a DAO is of interest, and I mean, I don't, hypotheticals, like we can play all day long, but realistically, I mean, once you're at the point where you want to launch a project, then I think it makes a lot of sense for us to get his name's Jason, to get Jason involved in that. He's got deep expertise around creation of DAOs. So
Okay.
yeah, we'd bring in Jason at that point.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, just like we're taking back ownership of stuff, we're going to be taking back law too. And it's
Yeah.
called the Law of Mankind, if you want to learn more about it.
Okay.
And it's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Sweet.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions about DAOs? All right. Let's jump into the third part of this then today. Let me share that again. Feel free to take down the camera. Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. One more. I just want to talk about why the DAOs work real quick. And there's a lot of reasons why DAOs work. But at the end of the day, it's really all about shared incentive. And when you think about what works best in our world today, and certainly what will work best moving forward. When everyone is aligned with their thoughts, when everyone is aligned with their allocation of energy, time, resources, etc., the shared incentive and going for a specific goal, certainly is one of the main reasons why it works. And there's scarcity involved. I mean, once a DAO opens and the DAO closes, there's only so many people, right, who can be involved in that particular project. So some DAOs actually have like a set number in terms of a limited number of people who can be involved with that project. Others keep it open for a period of time, and then once it closes, it closes. But like for the Constitution DAO as an example, I mean, you can't at this point you can't participate in the Constitution DAO. That opened and closed, right? So scarcity definitely can work to your advantage. Of course, location independence is a huge part of this insofar as why the DAOs work. You can participate in a DAO no matter where you are in the world. I mean, do your homework, do your research, that sort of thing. And there may be laws, rules, regulations, whatever, like Tony was talking about, for a particular region. Okay, maybe. But the reality is, like the Constitution DAO, like the Julian Assange thing, like Pleaser DAO, etc. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, to the best of my knowledge. If you wanted to be part of Pleaser DAO and acquiring that Wu-Tang Clan album, that's certainly something that you could do no matter where you were. And then, look, at the end of the day, it's trackable on the blockchain, right? And I think that's of all of the reasons why it works and why these DAOs are doing what they're doing and why they're growing in popularity so quickly, is because you can follow what's happening here on the blockchain, and it's all recorded on the blockchain. Now, you can have leaders that are undoxed, which means you don't know who they are, but nevertheless, you can still follow the transactions because they're all recorded. That's why you pay gas fees. They're all recorded on that ledger. So how does the DAO and an LLC work? Does the LLC own the DAO? Well, that's a really good question. And ultimately, at the end of the day here, I would venture to guess that a structure that it's probably being used more and more is that an LLC would own a piece of the DAO. The DAO is the top entity, but there's probably an LLC or 2 or 10 or 20 that invest in the DAO and sit below that as actual partners within the DAO. So, and then you can just convert it all together. But so there's a couple different ways to think about it, but I would venture to guess that most people, especially when you're dealing with bigger chunks of money, are structuring some degree of ownership protection of their ownership piece within the DAO itself. But that's where we get really, really granular. All right, let's talk about NFTs. So the third sort of silo here, if you will. And again, when you think about it in terms of just the different projects that are available to you and what's going to make the most sense for you to consider jumping into here in the world of Web3. Creator coins, DAOs, and NFTs. Those are the three that make the most sense to me at this particular moment. NFTs, right? Why participate in the world of NFTs? Well, yeah, lots of reasons. Why launch your own NFT project? Lots of reasons. Number one, it's an investment opportunity, right? Like anything else in the world of sort of tradable assets, and NFT is an asset. And if the public market exists for that asset, which it would, a lot of people invest in NFTs just for the ROI in the hope that you buy an NFT for one price and later you sell it for a higher price. So some people look at it from an investment standpoint. Some people buy NFTs just for the artistic value. They just really like the art and they want to support the artist, or maybe they want to, in some cases, if you end up with the the ownership rights to that NFT, which you would in some cases be able to use it on a T-shirt or a poster or whatever. Some people invest in NFTs for the artistic value and then for the licensing rights, which I'll talk about here in a second. Some people invest in NFTs just for status, right? If you own a Bored Ape, it carries a certain amount of status. If you carry and own a CryptoPunk, it has, bragging rights that go along with it. Not only because these are very expensive investments and assets, but also because they're, the OGs sort of the space, right? And being involved in one of the early projects carries that status, those bragging rights, etc. Owning an NFT sometimes gives you access to a community, and some people own NFTs because of the people who also own that same project, and being able to access that quote unquote country club, so to speak, that is only open to those who are owners of a particular NFT. So some people invest because there's community that's involved in being able to rub shoulders with folks that they wouldn't normally have the ability to rub shoulders with. Access. Some people invest in NFTs if, like, maybe you want to get access to an in-person event, like VCon, right? Gary Vaynerchuk's event that he's got coming up in 2023, I think, or maybe later this year, whatever it is. The only way you can get into that event is by owning one of his NFTs. That's why the pricing on those are so high. And then, some people invest in NFTs, like I said, for that future use, to be able to use the NFT, to be able to license it out, to be able to create merchandise and other things. I mean, you're starting to see NFT type art start to show up in mainstream television, in movies, and so on. And, well, the owner of that NFT gets paid. So lots of different reasons for people to invest in NFT projects. And, look, at the end of the day here, it doesn't matter whether you're looking at a creator coin or you're looking at a DAO or you're looking at an NFT. You really need to think about these things, and I'm going to break them down a bit more here. But you really need to start thinking about these 6 things for your Web3 project. The utility, and I'll go into detail around this here in a second. The community, the tokenomics, I'll explain what that means in a second. Your GTM, your go-to-market plan, having a website, your social media presence, talking about your lore, right, your story, and then ultimately governance. So from a utility standpoint, again, you just really need to think about, okay, how is this going to be used in my world? What is the owner of this coin, or what is the participant in the DAO, or what is the holder of the NFT? What are they going to get? What is the benefit for them? In other words, what is the utility? And so, for example, if you own an NFT, you might be able to access Discord, or maybe you give them discounts on products or programs or services. Maybe they can use that to buy your products or your programs or your services, right? So they can use your creator coin. Like, maybe you have a particular program, and I'm just giving you some ideas here, but maybe you have a particular program, and the only way to access that program is by owning the NFT, or the only way to access that program is to use your creator coin to buy that NFT, to buy that program, right? So in other words, you don't make it for sale through fiat. It's only available if people buy it through your coin, right? Lots of different ways that you can use that. Interestingly enough, if somebody owns an NFT, one of the things that you can give to them from a utility standpoint is you can give to them the ability to, get first access to more NFTs that you launch, or maybe special offers, or maybe they have to own your creator coin to be able to access your NFT project, right? So now things start to mix and match and become very circular. Maybe owning an NFT gives them access to an in real life event, like VCon with Gary, Maybe they have to buy a ticket to your event using your creator coin. Or maybe they have to be a member of your DAO in order to attend that particular event, right? Maybe your creator coin or your NFT provides social status for them in terms of like at an IRL event. Well, maybe owning that NFT will give them a certain section to sit in at the event. Or maybe you call out the owners of your NFT in an email blast that you send out. Or maybe you have a podcast and you talk about those holders in your podcast, right? There's a million different things that you could do to elevate their social status. And then, of course, the investment side of it, right? I mean, the pure utility investment side of it in terms of owning the coin and having the coin go up in value, owning the NFT, having the NFT go up in value, being a part of a DAO and having the treasury go up in value. So some people will look at that and look at different opportunities there in terms of the investment side of the equation. So here's Boycoin, which is one of the coins that's traded on the Rally Network. And these are just some of the things that you can redeem Boycoin for. Brand design and creative direction. So if you own 1,000 Boycoins, maybe you can get an interactive prototype. Maybe you can get UI UX design. Like, again, you can mix, match, set it up however you would like it. But the point being that this is where utility comes in. So we're talking about, when I say utility, I'm talking about how do you use it? How does the consumer benefit from your NFT project, from your creator coin, from your DAO? Just type the word utility in the box if this makes sense to you. Just want to make sure that I'm not losing you here when I'm talking about utility. Okay. At least for a few of you. It makes sense. All right. All right, good. Good. So next on the list is community, right? So as you think about your Web3 project, you have to think about your community. And what I really want you to understand is that it's super important not to underestimate the value that people place on being able to have access to or hang out with others, as part of an exclusive group, right? And being a stakeholder in that community. So there's a certain cachet with people who are members of a country club. I mean, if you're in a community and you've got a fancy country club, there's a certain cachet that goes hand in hand with being part of that community. Maybe some of you can relate, maybe some of you can't. Same thing with being an owner of an NFT. Same thing with being a creator coin holder. Same thing with being part of a DAO. Sometimes people just want to be a part of what you're doing so they can be part of that community. Because no one loves being alone all the time anyway. So we all want to be part of something. So don't underestimate the value and the power of being part of a community. Now, I just want to read this quote here from you. And this is from Nishan. He talks about just how social tokens like really supercharge communities as an example here. And so it feels like we're entering the next evolutionary phase of online communities where you and others are not just members of the same chat room talking about a shared interest, but actually are stakeholders of the community itself. And that's the important thing that I really want to point out to you here is if you get nothing else from these 3 days, just understand that the biggest difference between Web3 and Web2 is that Web3 gives your community the opportunity to be a stakeholder in what it is that they support. And so they're a stakeholder of the community itself and a system with baked-in incentives to reward you for the value you put in. That community is able to evolve a product alongside the creators. So don't underestimate the value of a community. Friends with Benefit, huge popular community. It's the ultimate cultural membership, which is powered by a community of Web3 artists, operators, thinkers, bound together by shared values and shared incentives, in this case, FWB, which is the FWB token. So to join Friends with Benefits, you must hold the FWB cryptocurrency. So you could do the same thing. So you could put together a group where the only way into that group is to be a holder of your creator coin. And what that means, and it means the same thing for you if you launch your coin, is that everyone in the community is literally invested in the community's success and gets to participate in the upside of the value created together. This is what I've been preaching to you for the last 2 days, right? The power of community. Tokenomics. Basically, in a nutshell, tokenomics just simply means especially as you get into a DAO or as you get into, maybe your own cryptocurrency or that sort of thing. And tokenomics just means what's the roadmap for your token? How many tokens are going to go to how many people? When is it going to go to those people? How many tokens are you reserving for founders? How many tokens are you reserving for now? In the case of a creator coin, it's more difficult to do because there's an unlimited amount of creator coins that can be created. But at the end of the day, you would really, 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 really have to go pretty far down the path before this would become, of any sort of meaningful discussion in terms of, can we keep going with this? Because most people who have creator coins, there's going to be a certain ceiling on how many people are going to buy that token just by the nature of their reach. But in other cases, look, if you're launching a creator, not a creator coin, but in this case, more of a true utility, sort of a true cryptocurrency token on that's available on one of the exchanges, you could be looking at, some pretty big numbers by the time you're all said and done, because again, it's just a much different animal. But you do want to think about tokenomics. How is the token going to be used? Who is it going to be distributed to? What's your plan for it, et cetera, as you continue to grow? Go to market, right? No matter what you're doing a creator coin, you're launching a DAO, you have an NFT project, whatever it is, you need a go-to-market plan, which basically means you really need to think about how are you going to launch? What are the steps that you're going to take prior to launch? What does that look like? How are you going to move that forward? Because ultimately, when you open the doors to whatever it is that you're doing, you want people clamoring in and ready to hit the buy button like right at that moment. Just like people line up, outside the doors for Apple's new phone, you want people lining up and just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting to hit that button. Like the Cool Cats folks just launched a new NFT that they just set up and just minted over the last couple of days. 20,000 of those pieces at half an ETH per just sold because they had a long setup time talking about this project, getting people interested, ready to go. And when they hit let's go on that, they already had a huge number of people waiting to buy. And so you can do the math on that. Well, I'll do the math on that. So if they did 10,000 ETH, we'll just use easy math here, and that was 3,000 ETH. So they basically in 24 hours just raised $30 million. But that's because they had a go-to-market launch plan, and they had built up interest. And by the time they opened the doors, it was takeoff time. So whatever you're doing, creator coin, DAO, NFT project, you need a plan. So what is your go-to-market plan? What are you going to do to generate interest? That's ultimately what this means. And then, of course, you need to have a website, right, for any project. Now, on Rally, your website actually is on their, on their platform, but you could have a separate website for your creator coin. If you're going to have an NFT project, you're going to need to have your own website, tell your story, the lore, if you will, behind why you're doing what you're doing. And yes, Barbara, it did actually crash the server. But that's a different story. Although Amazon does much more than that in 24 hours. But, you really got to start thinking about it in terms of, okay, what's the story that we're telling here? And how do we convey that through our website, through social, etc.? Like the World of Women has done a phenomenal job. They had a phenomenal go-to-market plan. They had a phenomenal team in place to launch this NFT project. And their website was a big part of that. Their website really told the story of who they are and what their plan is and why people should participate. And it's one of the most valuable NFT projects on the planet right now. So you need to have a website, right? Social media, somewhere to tell your story. So you got to get clear on what your lore is. What's the reason behind the project? Who's it for? Why are you doing it? All of those things. And then lastly is governance. And if you're going to get into a DAO because it's self-managed, self-owned, self-controlled in terms of by the group that has ownership in it, You've just got to be really clear on what your governance process is going to be. And that in NFT terms is your roadmap. Like, what's your roadmap? What is your plan for this project with your creator coin? Some people get really detailed in terms of what their roadmap is. What is their plan? How is this coin going to be governed? How is it going to be used? And then certainly for a DAO, you're going to need to spell it out pretty clearly and give your community the opportunity to vote on different ideas and proposals and approve those proposals or not approve those proposals. And so, look, at the end of the day, the best Web3 projects really combine multiple elements. It gives people the opportunity to elevate their status. It provides a return on investment. It helps them be a part of a community, gives them access to things they wouldn't have access to. There is artistic value where the art actually is good and people are proud to display it. And maybe you've got future use and licensing opportunities there as well. And love them or hate them, the Bored Ape Yacht Club is one of the best examples of a project that combines all of those. And their numbers show it. They have over a 100 ETH floor right now, which means that just to buy into this community and own one of these Bored Apes, you're at over $300,000. So pretty compelling. And one of the interesting things about most NFT projects is that you can set it up so that every time one of your NFTs is bought and sold, you get paid a royalty. And for them, they get paid millions of dollars every single day because of the transaction volume just on the royalties alone. But they thought all of this through before they launched. And that's why they're as successful as they are. And again, I'll just reiterate that, we're super excited about what's possible here in the world of Web3. And hopefully you are too, right? Because it allows you to really let your creativity and your imagination run wild. And what I want you to really take away from this 3 days of training here is that the opportunity is here and that we are super early. No matter how you slice it, you're super early. And the highest ROI is going to always go to those who are early into the space, no matter what that space is. Let me show you how early we are here, and hopefully you can see this on your screen. But this will hopefully put it in perspective in terms of why I believe that is now, you're hearing my voice, is the right time to jump into this mix, because it's just going to get more and more and more and more competitive throughout this year and certainly in years that follow. But there's 4.6 billion people online right now. Of those, about 2.3 billion people have credit cards. Okay, so now we're about half of the total number of people online have credit cards. Of those, a quarter of those people know what an NFT is. And of those, about an eighth of the people, 77 million people, have a crypto wallet. And then a fraction of those people own Ethereum. That's how early we are right now. 4 million out of 4.6 billion people even own Ethereum. That's how early we are. So when I see something like this, what this screams to me is opportunity. And what this also screams to me is time is of the essence. And it's just really that simple, that the later you wait and the longer you wait and the later it gets for you to create your Creator Coin or Web3 project, the less of a first mover advantage you're going to have. It's just that simple. And the good news is that we are already past the point of, those early adopters. So a lot of people have already laid the groundwork for you, and a lot of the mistakes have already been made. We're right here on that bell curve, right? We're right here in that first flat line. But we're far enough down that first flat line that a lot of the mistakes have been made. And that's ultimately what you're investing in, if you decide to help us help you create your Web3 project, right? Is you're investing in the mistakes that we've already made, and you're investing in the fact that we've already been down this path now for almost a year with our Creator Coin. And so yesterday I had made mention of our beta group. And basically what the beta group means is at a later date, we're going to be introducing this out as a full-blown offering. And it will be more money than what it is that we are asking you to invest to be a part of this group now, because quite simply, we're looking for success stories. And we want you to be successful in the Web3 landscape, because ultimately, the more successful that you are in the Web3 landscape, the easier it will be for us to say to others, hey, we can help you. So we're looking for people to help. I mean, really, that's just the bottom line, is we want to help you launch your Web3 project and really get the strategy done, solidified, nailed, and get launched sooner rather than later. And so we're inviting you to be one of just 10 leaders who we work with, personally guide, work with, side by side to develop your Web3 creator economy project. And so as a reminder, maybe if you missed it yesterday, we're getting together for 2 days in February, March, February 28th and March 1st in San Diego. If you can't join us in person, you can attend virtually. And then we're going to include ongoing support through our mastermind as well. So here's what's included. It is 2 full days of my team and I working with you, either in person or virtually at the intensive. You will leave the intensive with a clear understanding of your Web3 strategy. We've talked about the opportunity. We've gone over this on sort of a high level. Now we're going to apply this to you and your business and what it is that you can do and realistically accomplish together here over the next however many months. And we'd love to see you launch as soon as, maybe late Q2, maybe early Q3, depending on how quickly you want to get this done. So 2 full days, we're going to work side by side with you, get that strategy done, put that game plan in place to help you launch your Web3 project. And whether it's a DAO or an NFT project or Creator Coin, we'll help you figure that out as well in terms of what makes the most sense. You'll also get founder and first access to our upcoming NFT drop. And so you'll be able to mint at least 1 and perhaps as many as 3 of our tokens, which means you'll get in at the lowest price that we'll be putting this forth. And this is going to drop, hopefully next month we're gonna drop that. Then you'll be able to watch exactly what we do, right? Side by side, step by step, over the shoulder access. So you'll be able to watch us in real time as we do this, and our go-to-market process, and you'll be able to follow along what we're doing. If a creator coin makes sense for you, we'll provide a personal introduction to the Rally team. We'll fill out the application in other words, there's 2 steps of the process. You have to fill out your side of the application. We'll help you in terms of making sure that you're getting that application right in a way that gives you the highest likelihood of hearing yes from the team. And we'll fill out our application that vouches for you and introduce you. We'll literally walk you to the front of the line there at Rally. And so no guarantees. We can't guarantee that they'll say yes, but we certainly will work hard with you and side by side with you to give you the highest possible chance of hearing yes. They'll launch that coin for you. So we will make that introduction. And then we're going to follow up the intensive with 4 months of access to our private Web3 World mastermind and Discord channel, where you're going to receive ongoing support from me, my team, etc. You need vendors? We've got vendors. You need industry experts? We've got those too. So if you need intros, we'll make those intros. And I will personally review and audit your project prior to launch, meaning your launch. So you'll have my ears, you'll have my eyes, you'll have my attention on your project when you're ready to launch, and throughout this process as well. Again, we're limiting it to 10 people max because we really want to provide a lot of one-on-one guidance here. And I can tell you that the first 3 is already sold out. So we are on the second 3 right now. So it's 2.5 ETH or $7,500 for you guys to join us. And as I said, if you opt to go down the road of launching a creator coin with Rally, they give you 50,000 Genesis coins when you launch. So that in and of itself would far exceed the value and the investment that we're asking you here to make, as a part of being, with this intensive. So I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have. I know we're already talking to a couple others about being part of that second 3 there. So we'd love for you to join us. If you don't make the second 3, then the third 3 is 3 ETH. And we do accept cryptocurrency. Or $9,000, and if you're the last one, it'll be 3.5 ETH or 11K. So we're obviously encouraging you to join us early. If you need a payment plan, it's not a problem. We can break the investment up into 6 payments. Just talk to Kelly about that, and we'll come to some sort of arrangement there that really works for you. And we're pretty good about finding a way to help you for sure. So that's my question, right? Who's in, and ultimately, what are your questions? So. Let me ask you this: How many of you at this moment? Yeah, bring back up your camera. Feel free. How many of you at this moment are at least giving consideration to just give me a yes in the box or a wave at the camera, which would just be you right now, Barbara, since no one else is brave enough to bring up their camera again here. But I'm just curious how many of you guys are thinking or at least giving consideration to joining us at the intensive. Okay. Yeah, just give me a yes in the box if you're not on camera. I'm just curious. Yeah. Okay. No worries. We're here to help. We're here to serve. Any
So
questions at all?
You'll be sending along that information you just shared.
Kelly, we'll get out an email. Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We'll get out an email that kind of recaps everything that we're talking about here. Tony says I still need to be clear on a suitable use case, especially with reference to the world of crowdfunding. Yeah, I get that.
Is there
Yeah,
a
just-
lot? Is there a lot to do between now and then?
Between now and the intensive?
Yeah.
No. No.
Okay.
Nope. Yep. No worries. Cool. All right, so let's do this, which is just double check real quick here. You're welcome, Monica. Yep, good to see you guys. And we'll probably be doing this. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be doing. I don't know. I know someone was asking if we're doing it again. The honest answer is I don't know. I mean, we got our hands full with our own projects. I mean, we're definitely going into this NFT world pretty hard, pretty heavy. We want to dive back into the our own creator coin stuff and really get moving with that as well. So I know the question was asked, are we going to be doing this again at another point? The answer is I don't know. That's the honest truth right now. Because there's an opportunity cost for us to do this as well, just given all the the things that we've got that we've got going on. So the honest answer is I'm not sure, but I know we're doing it at the end of this month. Cool. Any other questions or anything that we can answer for anyone? Okay. All right. Well, let's leave it at that. Give you guys some time to think about things. And if you're watching the recording, good to see you. And just reach out for Kelly at steveolsher.com. And yeah. And I get it, right? I mean, it's like there's no better time than the present as far as all this stuff is concerned. And I will tell you that you're never going to feel ready to do this. It's just such a moving
like having
target.
a baby.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a moving target. And everything is changing so rapidly that your best bet, honestly, in my mind, is just to get into the game in whatever form that looks like, and get into the game now and adapt once you're in the game, rather than trying to play catch up once the game has already moved farther down the field. So, but that's always been, my philosophy. Is you say yes, and some of the stuff you figure out as you move along. But if you have even sort of a slight even inkling that this is something that you need to do, even if you don't know exactly how you would do it, what that would look like. I mean, that's the point of the intensive, is to answer those questions for you. I don't expect you to have the answers to the question right here, right now. That's the point of the intensive, is to get you comfortable with what those answers are. If you knew what the answers are, you'd already be doing this. So, please understand that this is not simply a matter of, hey, I need to figure this out before I can say yes. You figure it out by saying yes. And that's the easiest answer. So you could transfer your NFTs over to Rally. Yeah, I mean, what I would probably do is I would just probably do a separate, and we could figure this out, but I mean, I would just do a separate collection, so to speak, of those, perhaps of those same pieces. I mean, there's ways to make that work. I wouldn't put the same piece on multiple platforms, no, but I would take some sort of version of what you have, and so that you don't have to do too much work to it and then create a new collection on Rally. I think that would make the most sense for you. Alrighty, ready. Exactly. Some sort of alternative image of the same image, or something that makes it slightly different. Something again that gives it the one of one. as opposed to you're just putting the same thing on a different platform. That would be my suggestion. Yeah, something like that. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but something that makes it a little bit unique. Even if you change the background color or, something. Okay, and add it exactly. Leia says you could animate it or add music. Yep. All right, guys, you're welcome. I see some wheels spinning, and again, like I said, just trust your gut, trust your instincts. I mean, do what you got to do, meditate on it, whatever it is that you do. And if it feels like I want to say yes, but I don't know why or how, or that's not for you to worry about at this point. Is the why or the how? That's for us to figure out and make happen together. Nice to see you, Whitney. Yep, thank you for that. Good to see all of you. And just reach out for Kelly at steveulsher.com. And again, even if you're, here's what I would suggest to you. If you're a maybe, but I'm just not quite understanding, or, whatever that sounds like to you, just talk to Kelly. Just have a conversation with Kelly. If you're a no, you're a no. That's fine. But even if you're a maybe, I would say just have a conversation with Kelly, and we'll figure out if it's right for you. And we're not in the business of putting square pegs in round holes. So if it doesn't make sense for you, Kelly will tell you. But if she believes it makes sense, she'll tell you that too. So, all right, my friends. Good to see everybody. Reach out for Kelly. I'd love to see everybody set up a chat with Kelly and just go over things. And like I said, we're here to help you. We're here to serve. We're here to help you get in the game. Okay.
Thanks again, Steve. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Thanks, everybody. All right.
Bye-o.
Take care.